We are live, Joe. It looks like we are live here. This is another edition of the podcast. And so I wanted to introduce, for those of you that don't know, I am sitting with the one, the only Joe Kenemore, CEO of the new company BannerSeason that officially really opened its doors in 2019, like at the beginning of this year. Would you say that's accurate, Joe, that you were like officially the company launched this year?
January 1st. That was the
January
date.
1st, 2019 was the official launch of BannerSeason. And so, Joe, I wanted to hear a little bit about from you because I know that you've had corporate experience. You've worked with a number of big companies in the past.
Mhm.
What brought you back into the corporate world? What brought you to BannerSeason? What did you see in it? What value did you see that you wanted to add to the business world?
Wow, a great question. Truth of truths, man. I was hanging out at home, throwing some pity parties for myself. I lost my wife, and I just was kind of done. I threw my last pity party and said, I got to go do something. I called a friend, and he says, listen, man, you've always been happiest in the corporate environment where you're playing a leadership role and you're helping others. And I went, okay. So I started looking around, and BannerSeason had come up, as a topic, and they'd called me and said, hey, are you interested? And I went, well, as a matter of fact, I am interested. Let's chat some more. They kind of told me what they were doing. And I looked at that and went, okay, my jealousy in this life happens to be from my friends who have helped more people than me. And I went, this looks like a vehicle that I could get into and use to help more people than I ever have in my life. And that's what attracted me to BannerSeason. I know for a fact that all new, young, and old entrepreneurs suffer from a few problems that I can significantly help with them through this vehicle called BannerSeason. And that's why I'm here.
Now, you talk a lot about like the three R's. Why don't you kind of explain that for the listeners here? Explain what the three R's are and kind of how you see that BannerSeason helps alleviate the problems that a lot of business owners face with those areas.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I talk about the three R's all the time. There's actually more than three R's, but the three R's I really focus on are the ones I know for a fact that every business has one of these problems, and it is referrals, retention, and relationships. And if you don't have those three things in your business going well, your business is probably failing and not growing, or it's stagnant. So referrals, let's start there. How many people actually get referrals from, their business? I know that I built a business called Cash Media Works out of Las Vegas, and it's still in existence today. It's going to have its best year ever. And it was built on referrals only. And I didn't, directly ask for referrals at times, but there were times that I would call my customers and go, hey, you really like using me and you use me like every month. Is there somebody else out there that you could think of that, could help, I could help with my business? And they would get me referrals. But I also know that most entrepreneurs are afraid to ask for referrals. I look at the real estate market alone and just go, you guys don't ask for referrals ever. You never communicate with somebody after you sold their home or sold them a home ever. I mean, it's just a weird thing to me that I've purchased 8 homes in my life and never have I heard back from a realtor ever. That is crazy to me. So that's just, referrals for any business is a way to grow your business without spending huge ad dollars. And that's what you have to do. I mean, you have to have marketing impressions. You have to send communication and then start communicating with them. But, truth of truth, man, it's all right in your backyard. All the business you probably ever want is right there in your backyard. Referrals.
Very,
Yet
very true.
people just want to go spend money on advertising and, all this crazy stuff. And to me, I just look at it and go, you're an entrepreneur. You're young. You need to be smart enough to understand that, all that business is existing right now, within your own business. If you
Well,
do a good job.
you mentioned the real estate industry, and that's fascinating to me because I agree with you because they make the commissions that a real estate agent makes on every customer that they sell a home for or they represent is pretty substantial.
It
And
is.
for them to kind of do a single touch point after a deal, like a lot of times, like they sell a house, you get a gift, you get one gift in the mail, or not in the mail, they just deliver you a gift, and then that's kind of it. And
Yep.
you may or may not ever hear from them again, and they just kind of want you to reach back out to them.
Yeah.
But the idea of like cultivating that relationship and maintaining it over time makes so much sense, and it seems like this huge gap in where business owners could find additional success and build out a ton of more future revenue. Is that kind of accurate for what you're saying?
It boggles my mind that real estate agents have not. Now, I'm not going to say all of them, because there is a 5% that
Oh
have.
yeah, I'm sure there's
no question about that. But the 95% are the ones I want to help. And it is true. They leave a freaking basket with some bread and some weird jam and some cheese in it that, and a bottle of wine maybe. And you're like, okay, I'm going to stay top of mind for 2 days. And then the basket's gone. Now what? Banner season comes into play. We have multiple campaigns that keep you top of mind, whether it's just a 12-month campaign, one card a month from you to your customer with valuable information works. And it's $20 for a year for one customer. I'm certain that every realtor out there that has sold a property can afford $20. Now, let's go to my Ditch the Basket campaign. The most amazing campaign you will ever find for realtors. You sell a home. It's about $250 in product that goes out over a 2.5-year period of time. Every 3 months, they get a gift and a card. Every 3 months for 2.5 years. Do you think anybody out there listening to this, realtors, specifically realtors, channel with me for a minute? Do you think if you sent a card and a gift to your people you sold a home to or sold their home every 3 months for 2.5 years, do you think you'd stay top of mind? Do you think that every time somebody around them said realtor, they'd be raising their hand like, ooh, I got somebody you need to call? That's what I'm after. That's what my mantra is. That's what I'm trying to do, is help realtors get those referrals and stay top of mind with their customers and engage them in a valuable way. The second touch in that 2.5-year campaign is a tape measure, and it has the realtor's logo on it and the name of the person who purchased the home from them. And the card just says, how did we measure up? The message ties to the gift. The gift will never be thrown away. I've never thrown a tape measure away unless it stopped working. This is a full-blown industrial, tape measure that if you own a home, you need a damn tape measure. And you're going to use this one because, it's got your name on it. Nobody can take it from you. We love personalizing things. But, bottom line, the card actually says, if we measured up to your expectations, we do appreciate referrals. That's all it says. It doesn't say, call me and give me a referral. It is a very crafty way to send a gift to somebody and ask for a referral without saying, hey, do you have any referrals for me?
Yeah. What I love what you're doing here at Banner is that you're kind of optimizing for long-term marketing, long-term thinking, whereas most people in business have a short-term mentality, right? They want to make a sale and then they want to forget about it and move on to the next person. Every month is kind of like a new rabbit, new chase of new customers every single month. So they're going through that time after time after time. What you're doing is you're taking a portion of the money that you've made off of a client and you're reinvesting it back into that client. And if you think about it, if you're putting $250 into a real estate client and you convert just one of like 10 or 7 or, or more, you're going to get your money back. And then, and likely you're going to convert more than that. I mean, over the long haul here, because we're forgetting that not only are you building a relationship with your client, but you're building a relationship with the network of people that client is connected to, because they're going to remember you for the fact that you went the extra mile for them, and they're going to be more likely to get into that referral type of relationship where they're going to be like telling their friends about you. They're going to be telling their colleagues about you, their network.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, like you just said, they're chasing rabbits. It's expensive to chase rabbits. It takes time, it takes money, it takes effort. And for you to not chase referrals, it just blows my mind. I mean, I can't even, from a businessman's perspective, I've run businesses my whole life, my own and others. And if you are not spending your time and your money wisely to find your customers, you're not going to be in business tomorrow. You're just not. It doesn't work that way. That's not how capitalism works here in America anyway, or in North America. So, you look at this whole thing and you just go, it costs too much money to get a new customer. I think there's some statistics out there that say it costs 100 times more to get a new customer than it does to get one of your existing customers to refer somebody. And I look at that and just go, from a business perspective, folks, wake up. It's time to play the referral game. It works. It really, really works.
We've talked about the benefits now of BannerSeason, but we haven't. Let's take a step back and actually explain the company, because if anyone's
Yes.
watching this that's never heard of BannerSeason, they might have no idea what we're talking about right now.
Right.
So I wanted to let's take a step back. Let's kind of explain what it is that BannerSeason is providing, how it differs from other companies that are out there, or other promotional product companies, for example, that are out there. Like, why is this different than that?
Right.
So let's start with that. Tell me what how would you describe the company, and how does it differ from the competition?
Well, listen, yeah, there's some competition out there for sure, and I love that. I love competition. It makes us sharpen our axe every day,
Yeah.
and stay ahead of the competition. I believe we have the premier customer engagement platform that helps every entrepreneur and every business with retention, referrals, and relationships. I said it again, the 3 R's, baby. They're there, and they need to be paid attention to for business. But what is BannerSeason? BannerSeason is this customer engagement platform. We use personalized gifts and messages. And we also have a saying, it's about mailboxes and not inboxes. And I'm not knocking email. What I'm saying is BannerSeason is a part of the solution. Right now, people are sick and tired of getting so many damn emails that make no sense to them, no value in the email. It's just another message or somebody else's sales intention in your inbox. And we at BannerSeason, we know that if you want the attention of your customer, I promise you, get in their mailbox with a package, you will get their attention beyond a shadow of a doubt. That is who we are. It's what we do. We personalize everything we send out the door. I don't care if it's brownies, mugs, water bottles, cards, doesn't matter. That's what we do. Now, to really think of this, you do get those emails. You do have those companies that communicate with you on a long-term basis, those funnels that you end up into. And eventually those turn into emails that are, a series of emails that are trying to sell you something. What I want to say to those people that are writing those series of emails is this. I see in the future of marketing, we will be a part of every successful company out there. Because truly, if you're just sending emails, you are not going to be successful. You need multimedia. You need other forms of communication that are not in an inbox. So I look at it: email, text, gift, email, text, package, email, card. I mean, if you want to get their attention and you really, really want that customer, you want the retention of that customer, you want the referral from that customer, or you just want the relationship. Boy, I got to tell you, my relationship game, it's on. There's not a soul that I meet new. I send every single person new person I come in contact with, I send them a card and a gift that says, "Nice to meet you." It's automated through my system. It's a no-brainer. It costs me seconds to do. Literally just seconds. But I can promise you this: when they get that gift, they feel that it was a heartfelt gift that was sent from me, and they will answer my phone call, text, email, or if I yell from the rooftop, because I'm their real friend now. I sent them something unexpected, and that's how this business works.
And the thing that I love that you've kind of focused on is that this company focuses on business owners in a lot of respects, and on creating like automation behind sending these kind of gifts and packages, and even to the point of personalization through merge tags on product, not
Oh, yeah.
just on cards, but
Absolutely.
on mugs, on brownies, on things like that.
Yeah.
And I love that. What were you saying?
Well, let me tell you something I know about my customers. My customers, my real users, they have plenty of money. They have no time. They know they should be doing something like this, but they're not, because they don't have a system to do it with. And that's where we come into play. BannerSeason is the answer to those entrepreneurs that are struggling with communicating with their customers in a meaningful way. And that's where we're at. It's meaningful. It's not just another email.
Well, one of the things that I think is really valuable is I was recently at Traffic and Conversions, which is a digital marketing summit that it was either this year or last year I heard this talk, but it was Perry Belcher, who's he used to be, I think he was one of the co-founders, and I think he's on his own company now.
Right.
But he talked about the idea of something called premiums. And premiums, in the context of premiums, when he's talking about them, they're like a value add on top of a purchase,
Mhm.
and generally they're a physical value add. So he talked about how if you sell like a digital course or a digital membership and you add a tangible gift or item on the back end of it, how retention went through the roof
Right.
compared to where it is without it. And so with Banner Season, I see the opportunity because not only can you send like a mug, and here's my marketing geeks mug on one side. I got my logo and I got my name and name and
Awesome.
logo on the back.
Yeah.
But not only can you send like a personalized like coffee mug or gift like that, but you can also you actually have a way of sending business letters. So you can actually it goes into a business envelope. You could have like a welcome letter that is just imported from a Word document.
Absolutely.
Goes out to your client, welcomes them to the membership site, makes them, gives them that tangible touch that's missing from email and missing from the computer side of things.
Absolutely.
And so I see that as like a missing piece. And like you said, it's kind of like you're adding another element of a touch point that's kind of missing in the current digital environment for the most part. What would you say to that?
Well, what I say is this, direct mail is not dead. It's just been done wrong. Okay. There are marketing impressions and there are human impressions. We make human impressions. Marketing impressions are just a logo on a piece of paper that hits your mailbox. And yeah, you see it. And yes, it's important, but it's not a human impression. It's not that connection with that customer that's real. That's tangible. They open a box and have a gift inside or something they can use that's usable for them. That's a game changer. That is a game changer. And like I said, get out of their damn inbox and get in their mailbox if you want their attention. You know what I mean? If you really, really are after it. And I know there's, cost of acquisition for a customer. Your audience knows this specifically. If you're hanging out with the digital marketer folks, they talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
What's it cost to get somebody to click on something? What's it cost to, get that customer in the door and to buy something? What is the lifetime value of that customer? And, how do these things all work together? Well, I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, you'll get an 11% open rate on your emails, but you're going to get 100% open rate with my packages. So
yes,
that's the real.
And to that point, like I think of like Ryan Dice is the CEO of Digital Marketer, and I've taken a lot of his digital courses before. And one of the sayings that has kind of stuck with me that he I think he's kind of famous for is that he says that he or she who is willing to spend the most money to acquire a customer will always win. And so if you're willing to allocate some of your marketing budget, like if you have allocate some of your marketing budget into your existing clients,
Yep.
also. And because not only is it about like acquiring them, but it's also about keeping them.
Absolutely.
And so it's almost like an add-on to that saying is that like if you're willing to spend the most to retain and keep them happy, you're also going to win over the long haul because you're increasing the lifetime value of those customers. And again, sometimes these things come back to us in ways that we don't expect. Like they come back in a year later, like you get a referral out of the blue and it's from somebody that you sent the gift to a year prior. So you're planting seeds too that sometimes don't blossom for a year or longer. But the fact that you're doing it is setting yourself up for that future success because you've actually taken the time and you've cultivated that relationship and you've built that out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%, man. That is exactly what this is all about. If you're willing to spend the money and you really want the customer and you understand the lifetime value of that customer and the equation works, man, get your butts over here to Banner Season and let us teach you a few things about direct mail and what the new wave of direct mail looks like.
So what are some of the applications, like what are some of the creative ways that you've seen businesses using Banner Season right now? Like how are you seeing, like, I'm sure like you kind of had your preconceived notions of how you thought the software worked, but what are some of like the creative outlets that you've seen like companies take on right now?
My goodness, man, it is so, it's crazy the stuff I get to see. The big thing, there's a couple of things. Number one, there's the impossible contact at a company. You know the name, you know the company, you know who you want to talk to, but you can't get their attention. You can't get them to respond to an email. Gee, I wonder why, because their inbox is full and they're just not going to respond. So we have what's called a banner bomb. And basically, a banner bomb to us is when you choose 5 or more products that you send with a greeting card of some kind, whether it be a gigagram, which is an oversized greeting card, or regular greeting card with a message that just says, hey, I'd love to talk to you. It's worked 100% of the time. Like literally 100% of the time. And Justin, I think we've used this tactic and employed this tactic as well with one of your customers. And guess what? The phone rang inbound to us, not not just an email or something. It actually rang with a thank you and a how did you do that? Well, that is monumental in today's age of trying to contact the impossible. So that's one creative way, and that's happening about every day now. We see banner bombs going out in these big boxes with all these brownies that are personalized and cake bites and Belgian truffles and coffee mugs and water bottles and just anything and everything that may fit this customer. So one creative way. I've seen companies who are good at giving. And what they've done is they've included their giving with their customer base. So they go to make a wish and they grant a wish. And then they create a communication to all of their customers that says, thank you for your business because of your business with us. We've been able to, grant a wish and make a kid's dream come true. And thank you for being a part of that. And thank you for, investing with or, working with us because you now are a part of granting a wish at Make-A-Wish. So now this company has a good feeling about them because they work with you, because they know every time they work with you that they're probably going to be granting a wish with Make-A-Wish. That is monumental. I didn't say I want your business. I didn't say you should come buy this from me. I didn't market to them. Well, kind of sneakily I did. But you know what? I included them in our success, our mutual success. If they work with a company, you include them in your mutual success by giving through philanthropy and including them as a part of that process. It's a touch, but it's a big touch. You touch the heart, and that's what we want to touch.
And I think of I had a particular prospect. So full disclosure, I am an independent referral partner for BannerSeason, and I mean, what's wonderful about the modern age of digital marketing is that if you like any company, you could pretty much become a referral partner of any company out there. You just have to contact them.
Yeah, it's true.
It is.
Look at the footer of their website; you'll find
exactly.
it.
But yeah, I am an independent referral partner of BannerSeason, so maybe I do have a little bit of bias here. But I think of like when I had a prospect before, and I dripped on them for it took a while. I dripped on them for weeks, months, and then finally one of my mentors was like, you know what, just send them a bunch of stuff. Just send them in the mail, like as I sent it, like a mug, a card, a brownie pack, and like a bunch more. It was probably like 8 items, and guess what? The phone rang. And it's funny because like I had described this stuff over and over and over, but when they experienced it, it was a whole nother element. That's so right. The conversation changed only after they had experienced it for themselves, and they actually were like, wow, okay, now I see why a customer would feel special when they receive something like this. Now I actually experienced it myself. Now I can actually see how it works. Yeah. So one of the beautiful things about BannerSeason is that once you experience it for yourself, you see how this can really help. It makes your customers feel great, which should help you feel good about yourself, but also it's going to help your company and your reputation and your referrals and your retention and all that wonderful stuff and your relationship building, because you are doing that. So have you experienced, I mean, I guess you've kind of already shared that, but I mean, like the difference between like experiencing and describing, like, can you talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. And, I did a presentation. It was about 3 or 4 months ago. It was a network marketing company, and they started to use us for sampling their products. And of course, I wanted to teach a few other precepts at the same time. So, and one of those things I wanted to teach was kind of this. You don't have to know somebody to be meaningful and send them a gift. You just don't. Now, take a step back. What I did was this. I called the owner of the company that I was presenting for, and I said, hey, I need 2 people from your audience that you know. I don't know anybody in your audience. I need to know their names, and I want you to connect me somehow on Facebook to them. I don't have to be their friend. I just need you to kind of figure out how I can find, I can do a little digging on them. So what I did is I created gifts for both of them. And when I got to the event and right before my presentation, I found both of them in the audience, and I asked them if they'd be willing to help me with my presentation. They both said yes. I put one on the stage right. I put one on stage left. The one on stage right got a gift every 3 minutes during my entire presentation. The one stage left got absolutely nothing. The message was very, very clear. I got to tell you, the woman on stage right, she got a gift that made her cry. And I didn't know her. I had no clue who she was, her demeanor. But I'll tell you what, I took a picture of her boys and I put it on a metal print. And that gift alone got her attention with the message in the card that says, you have two beautiful young strapping gentlemen here that are your boys. You should be super proud. And I got to tell you, that drew tears. And I didn't know her from Adam. And you don't have to know people to be meaningful in their life. You don't have to write a heartfelt card every time for it to work. You just have to have the desire to communicate with somebody in this fashion. Now, I sat there and did these for a presentation. I don't do that every time. Matter of fact, that is a very oddity for me to sit down and write a card specifically for one individual. Most of what I do is an automated feature out of my system. I'm sorry out there, folks. If you've gotten a card for me and a gift for me and you didn't know it was automated, I apologize. But,
pulling the curtain back.
I just pulled the curtain back a little bit, but it worked. You got a gift from me, and I did mean it. My intention was every bit of, it was nice to meet you, and thank you. There's a whole lot of that that's intentional. But what I'm saying is you don't have to, sit down and spend a half an hour, an hour writing this special message out. We have pre-done messages. We have a design store that have cards and gifts already pre-done. It's literally add to cart, select recipient, and move along. You know what I mean? That's it. And now we have a campaign store that will be launched on Friday of this week. And that takes us into a whole other stratosphere. When I say a campaign, I mean a marketing campaign using our physical products. Just like you would have a campaign in emails, we would have campaigns that use physical products. And you can adjust the dates, the gifts, what you do. That can be specific around a birthday or whatever. You know what I mean? That's who we are.
And for the advanced folks listening to this right now, I want to just elaborate on the campaign store and the campaign system that's built in BannerSeason, because that's where the real differences that I see is that you can go into BannerSeason and you can create drip campaigns that send out physical cards, physical gifts triggered on either delay timers or behavioral triggers. And you can integrate this with basically all of the major CRMs out there, all the major email platforms. If there's not a direct integration, there's a Zapier integration.
Yep.
So it's all there, and so like, for instance, I run a podcast outside of this podcast. I run Marketing Geeks, and we're now adding in the feature where we have a guest on the show. All I have to do is apply a tag, and then bam, it's going to send out a card, a gift, and then it'll drip on them maybe twice over a year. So not a lot, but maybe like a 6 month and a 1 year reminder. Thank you so much for being on the show, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of bringing a full service automation to everything. So and I think of all these different outlets of how I can use it. But the podcast is one of them. The digital membership sites are another one. Or anything that you're doing, even your Christmas cards, even your even the traditional stuff that's like not even business related. I have a 1-year-old. I send my mom tons of custom stuff with my son on it, and it makes and that, talk about heartfelt. She cries every time she gets one. So
now let's talk about retention for a minute, and specifically to this audience. One of the very first customers we took on was a digital marketer, and he had 2 packages. One was $1,000, one was $2,000. He was suffering from $20,000 to $40,000 worth of returns every month.
Yeah,
he made one change, and it took it to 0. And the only change he made was this. He triggered from his system into ours. Every time somebody bought one of those 2 products, they got a card and a gift. And it was a whole $8, I think, is what it cost him every time. So he's spending on average about $900 a month to save $20,000 to $40,000. Now, folks, if you're in business, do the math, and let's talk retention. Let's talk about retaining those customers.
Percentages.
Yeah, let's talk about chargebacks and what that's all about, and digital downloads. The minute they get that gift, you have changed your relationship with them. It's no longer just I clicked on a link, spent some money, and downloaded something. No. That is now gone. Now I have a relationship with somebody. They sent me a nice gift and a card that basically said, I appreciate you and thank you for believing in me. And, how can you do a chargeback on somebody like that? You just can't. It hurts. It hurts your soul to do it. Now, there are some bad people out there that are, that have bad intentions from the beginning. But for the most part, changing that relationship is what changed how much he put out every month.
Yeah,
And
there will always be a few that will probably refund no matter what, but very few, especially if you take care of the majority of them. And this gets into like I'm a big fan of the work of Robert Cialdini, and he has a book called Influence. And so he has like 6 principles of influence. One of them is the law of reciprocity.
yes.
And when he talks about the law of reciprocity in marketing, it's exactly like what you see with email marketing. Like usually somebody goes to a landing page, they opt in exchange for some kind of a free gift. Like that's either like a PDF report, it's a ebook, it's whatever it is. And what you're doing though is you're sending that physical gift and product, and you're creating that reciprocity element. So it makes it subconsciously, it makes it a lot harder to want to cancel something where this person has given to me, they've given me value, they've given me things. It's just from a subconscious standpoint and from a marketing standpoint and from a persuasion, influence, psychology standpoint, it works really well.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful, beautiful concept. And, if you understand it, it will work, and you can leverage that in your favor. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. So kind of wrapping up here, I wanted to ask you, like, where do you see like the future? Like, how does the future of business kind of as a whole, like, how do you see this kind of application of consumer focused or customer focused marketing, like becoming a bigger part or a smaller part? Like, tell me a little bit about how you see the future of business. And I will kind of wrap up on that. I wanted to hear like your take on how this is going to impact the future.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Well, clearly the industrial age is over. It's dead. We are on into, the digital age, and, we're smack dab in the middle of it, in my opinion. I think we're so in the middle of it that people, their sensory overloads are really starting to take effect. And when we start talking about how many texts, how many messengers, how many emails, I can't even tell you how many platforms I am on every day. And it's beginning to get a bit nutty. And it's not just for me. I'm just one, business owner, CEO that's trying to move my product ahead and share with the world, what we do and how I can serve folks. But, bottom line, it is changing. And you have to communicate in a different way in this day and age when everybody is bombarded with some kind of a digital message or ask or sale or marketing of some kind. It's time to change it up, folks. It's time to go backwards a little bit to what they did in the industrial age, which is they sent direct mail. They communicated in a different way. They appreciated their customers, and those are the ones who won the game in the end. I mean, they really did win the game. And, today we are right there. In this digital age, it is time for all of us to think a little differently. Like I said, gift, email, text, card, email, gift. I mean, folks, a drip campaign does not have to be just emails and text. It can be a physical product. And if you can wrap your mind around that concept, I promise you, there's a win in it for you. There is a win.
There's absolutely, and there's no. I mean, there may be a mental spam box, but if you send a physical gift, it's never going to not get delivered to the person. It's always going to end up at the recipient's place. Whereas if you send an email, it may get into the clutter box, it may get into the junk box, it may get into the spam box.
Absolutely,
you don't even know if it's going to get to them. So
I believe I have created a playground for digital marketers. Is what I have created. I mean, a real live sandbox playground that they can come.
Love that.
And figure out, how they can integrate this into what they do. But it's fun. It's not just a written message anymore and a little picture and a link. This is different. This is unique. This is what will make you stand out, is really what it boils down to. Want to stand out? Get over here to BannerSeason. Stop messing around. I'm hungry. I'm hungry to help. I'm hungry
It's time to stand out, people.
Yeah. Right.
If anyone wants to check this out, so if you want to check out BannerSeason and open an account, you can open an account for free to kind of check out the software. Generally recommend that you deposit at least $25 and experience it for yourself. Even if you send yourself a card, send yourself a gift, like experience it for yourself, see what's out there. So you can go to BannerSeason.com. You can use the invitation code START, START. It's pretty simple. So again, BannerSeason.com, invitation code START, and you can get out there and experience it for yourself and see exactly how you can have a banner season.
Well, let me make a recommendation to those new users. You really want some impact?
Yeah.
You have a wife, girlfriend, husband, boyfriend? Start there. See what impact that has when you send them a gift that is unexpected. That's all I'm saying.
You might increase your retention.
Might increase a few things that you weren't expecting.
That's true.
I'm just saying, start there. Let's see what happens.
I love that. Well, Joe, thank you so much for the interview time. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And with that, we'll leave it there.
I love it. I'm here to serve, folks. Please, show up. Let's do this.
Awesome.